But anyways, what is this COVID anyway? What is it like? Because we were talking about natural selection and progress, and the idea is that everybody should somehow get it, and everybody will get it eventually. Uh, and yet we don't really know though, because everybody this virus reacts differently from people to people. I still don't get it. I don't get it. Why aren't people more pissed off, man? Just don't be submissive. It's like, well, what is this? Like, shut up and obey kind of situation, and that's gonna be the new norm too? No, man, I don't accept that. That's not cool. And now nobody can even have doubts anymore. I mean, leave alone being critical and being analytical about something, or being skeptical, because God forbid, like, if you ask a question or two, automatically you become, oh, it's a conspiracy theory, therefore, screw you. I don't understand what's going on. We have so much information, but like, it's this, all of this information is making us numb. It's a bit like being in a room and listening to 7 different songs at the same time. But I don't know, man. I sometimes I find it weird that people are so submissive. That's one thing that pisses me off. As although I am afraid, and this fear paralyzes me from asking questions, I don't like the feeling of being useless. I feel completely left out. There is no motivation to do anything. I don't understand what's happening, and don't you guys feel like that? No, I don't know, and it's even really hard to get out of bed. It's just, I don't know what's happening, and it sucks. I don't know. Maybe it's just me feeling completely ignorant and useless and left aside and not knowing what's happening, and for some reason that affects me. I can't find any motivation to do anything. It's like there is no goals anymore. Yeah, so we all just get to stay home, watch Netflix and free porn, and be extremely passive and happy with that, and submissive, and show our lives virtually, Instagrams and photos and selfies and all that. Man, so many fucking people, they bug me so much. Do we really need to see you doing your yoga or what you're cooking? I don't give a flying. Man, I mean, all I know is that the government is helping us out, and let's just do our best. This is going to be the best, most insane summer in Montreal, where things might get fucked. The government is gonna wanna get the money back, and they're gonna do terrible things. Complete total authoritarian regime. It's gonna be like a indirect dictator shit. I personally, I don't mind it. We get to stay home. It's Mother Nature telling us to buck off. Nobody's gonna win if economy collapses, right? What is happening is like we're maybe being resetted by killing all of our floras and all of our protective bacteria and whatnot, because we have a lot of good bacteria in here too that we are killing every single time we're using disinfectant, and that is gonna make us so weak that then afterwards we actually do get sick from anything. A bit like in the developed countries, where all these kids suffer from different kind of allergies and so on, and intolerances and whatnot. Why is it that underdeveloped countries, kids don't suffer any allergies, they don't suffer any of these crazy intolerances and whatnot? I don't know. So we all basically gonna become allergic to shit soon enough, and is that gonna be the new norm? And this thing probably, I don't know, it might protect us or protect others, really, no more than us, or maybe it's protecting us too, but I don't know if it's really healthy to be breathing what we're supposed to be breathing out, or like expelling. But I don't know, I'm not sure, but hey, what do I know? Something just doesn't make sense. Come on, we are so advanced. We have accomplished so much progress, and we know everything. We monitor everything. We know what's happening every single second of our existence. We know every single movement of every single person. We know everything. We go up and beyond in space, and yet we are being taken for a ride by a virus. How come in Africa this isn't as big? I mean, I was really worried that this virus was gonna hit the poor, the ones that are in a less healthy or clean environment. How is this not affecting chain smokers? How is this virus not affecting the homeless people? There are crackheads and people that their health is not that great, that sleep in the street, and they use different kind of drugs and alcohol and chain smoke and so on and so on, and they touch everything and anything in the street, pick up the smallest pieces of cigarettes but that they find. But people like the Prime Minister of the UK or the royal family with access to the chance of having amazing health, they get sick. I actually have one last question. How come, like, what's up with the suicide rate? Like, because I didn't really hear much about it. Did you guys hear about that? I mean, did anybody commit suicide? If so, how many and why? All people are dying, and all people they die every day. Even before coronavirus, they die. That's what we all do. We all die. This virus accelerates their death. And to me, it's not a complete far-fetched idea to believe the notion that maybe it's also a way to control the growth of the human population, because we are 7.5 billion right now, and just back in the 50s or 60s we were 2.5 billion, right? So that's a huge change, right? In many countries the health system will actually just help the older people that are sick in hospitals die, so that this person doesn't use the resources, the space, the bed, and because it's not contributing to the economy anymore, therefore, let it die. Because we do live in a world, unfortunately, that economy is way more important than lives, than people. Unless this old person was extremely wealthy, that's a practice that has been used for quite a long time. I mean, we're getting paid by the government, right? So we're having that help, which is cool. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, because I mean, this must be big if the government is actually giving us the money to stay home, right? I mean, of course, I understand some of you might think that, okay, but still there is something very sketchy about that. The thing that kind of makes me wonder a little bit is just that, I mean, so receiving that money keeps our mouth shut, so we're nobody's questioning things, and I would love to understand it, but I just really don't understand. But I am worried about one thing, though. They say that this is affecting the economy and so on and so on. I'm just really afraid that once all of this COVID thing ends, because eventually it's gonna end. I mean, I know it just started, but it's gonna end eventually, right? The economy is gonna go down with the excuse of like reboosting the economy, build some kind of an authoritarian regime. People will lose their freedom of speech, and human right violation will be everywhere, and the environment, it will be gone. We will completely destroy the environment. Government will have the permission to do whatever they please, because they're gonna say like, oh, it's a state of emergency, we need to recover the economy that we've lost, and they're gonna do some very terrible things. How can you believe things in a world where you don't matter? Nobody cares about you. So why should every single information that comes out from the authorities and your government and so on be truthful. Especially, history also taught us that the government hasn't always been on our side. Any government, any people, we don't matter. If this continues until the winter, that kind of scares me. It gets really cold. We even get to like minus 30s, right? So are we still gonna be doing lineups outside when it's this cold? Maybe all of this is just a way to prepare humanity for like the next level, because things are gonna be different. As they are saying, nothing is gonna be the same. We're gonna have to develop some kind of protection that will make us immune to the next kind of pollution or radiation and so on that is going to happen. And the 5G, they say, I don't even know what 5G is, but what is it? Can someone explain? But I just know that things will be different. There's going to be a 6G, 7G, 8G. It's going to probably go on and on and on, right? And we're going to have to get ready for that. So we have to develop some kind of immune system, some kind of protection for what is to come. And I think maybe that's what's happening right now. It's just that, do we really want that? Or do we even have a choice? Is it progress? Scaring people and saying like, oh, so many people are dying, so many people are dying. I think that line has been crossed. People's freedom is being compromised. And then we're gonna get like what? The vaccines, everybody's talking about vaccines, which at the same time, isn't that a bit natural? Don't we every single time that after a certain amount of time we know we have to get vaccine because it is progress, isn't it? It's just no, something is not right. But something really cool is gonna happen in Montreal. And I talk now for Montreal because that's where I am. We're gonna have the best summer in Montreal because we're not gonna have any festivals. Finally, people will be able to enjoy the actual summer because they will be hanging out in parks, okay? Which is something that we wouldn't do because in Montreal during the summer we have like 2 months of just, we're bombarded with so many festivals and every day so much happening because economy is important, right? That people are overwhelmed and they don't even know that they are overwhelmed. Macro farming, is it really like that? Is it like for real nature saying okay, stop it because we are killing many animals and producing so much more than necessary by just mixing things and these huge farms killing animals and no more forest, and so some animals that are supposed to be far away from humanity and from cattle, from farms, they actually come and they get in contact with this and there is exchange of viruses and blood and whatnot. And okay, if it could somehow make sense, I don't know, man. I do like to believe it, that is nature is saying okay, stop this big macro production and macro farming and so on because this is the results. But I don't understand what's going on. And is capitalism a problem? Yeah, could it be? I mean, capitalism has always also been racist, let's just be honest. And if there's gonna be a percentage of people that must die, okay, so far we know that it's going that is the old people and then the people that have some kind of health problem. And then who's that? The blacks? The poor? Who how many people need to be sacrificed for this new world order? But I'm not saying that in the conspiracy theory way. I'm just saying because this is what is happening. It's going to be the new norm, right? Sorry, it's called the new norm. It's like see it as a triangle. Point A, point B, and point C, right? That. It's like are the three angles that completely control the world, One is, there we go, economy and like the banks and so on and so on, and someone has complete total control of that. And then somebody else is like, well, what about, well, no, we need to create another something else, something else, another thing that we can control to be in the game, communication in the media, and and you got all of that, and so that's being all controlled now too, and then after that, somebody else is like, wait, there must be another essential thing that we can control, so we can get into the game of controlling the world. What is it? What is another essential thing? Ooh, health. So bam, and now there it is, the health crisis too, and big pharma is just gonna keep on getting even more powerful, and so there's just this triangle that is gonna control the planet, man, and everybody else, and they even decide who lives and who dies. If really is China that is trying to control the world, and they already control Africa, right? So they bought Africa, and so imagine, like, they have the Asia and they got Africa, and they need to control Europe to then control the Americas, and the best way is to go through Italy, which is the weakest link, and then from there, no, I'm just joking. Why don't we play Risk? I remember I saw a video of a bunch of like very famous and rich people getting together, and Carla Bruni was there, like the Sarkozy's wife, who was joking about COVID and be like, COVID, look, COVID. She was being stupid and whatever, and then of course, because it was on national television, she apologized. But how, you guys remember that, how she was making fun, and there were all these like rich white French people or politicians and European important people. They were all gathered together. They had no fear of COVID, right? Remember that?